You thirst for some significance of the both dimensional kind. You enter a realm of spirit, of sight and sound and mind. Your radio is a cosmic doorway and your psyche begins to spark. When you tune in to Gary Anderson and Night Dreams After Dark.
The views, opinions, and representations expressed on the Night Dreams Talk Radio Network and its website are those of the hosts, guests, and participants, and are not necessarily those of or endorsed by the network, its affiliated stations and broadcasts, the management, other hosts, or advertisers of the network. The shows found on the Night Dreams Talk Radio Network can, but do not necessarily, promote any particular lifestyle, belief, religion, political affiliation, or other personal practice. These shows are for entertainment purposes only, and are not intended to treat, diagnose, and or claim any cure of disease or condition, or give any medical or legal advice. From our compound, from the West Coast to the East Coast to worldwide, both on the Internet and terrestrial radio, you're listening to Gary Anderson on Night Dreams Talk Radio After Dark.
And here I am. Boy, it's Monday. The weekend just went by so fast. Well, tonight I hope everybody is having a great night and staying out of trouble and had a great work day. And if you didn't, I hope you didn't get stuck watching some really raunchy TV shows. James, are you out there?
Yes, I am out here, Gary. And how are you doing today?
Well, how am I doing? Can you believe a nursing home in North Carolina got busted? You know what they were doing?
Please, let me know. What were they doing?
They were taking the old people, right, and making them fight. They created a fight club, and they charged people. You know, they had betting going on who would win.
I'm sorry for laughing, but that is absurd. Those people ought to be put in jail. My goodness. You talk about abuse of the patients. Jeez.
Well, most of the patients had Alzheimer's or dementia, so they didn't know what was going on. But could you imagine, I mean, come on, that's really, well, I guess maybe the nursing home wasn't making enough money. So that's one way they could, be making a little bit extra cash, having people come in and bet on who is going to win the fight.
Oh, that's just awful. I guess they figured if they had dementia, they probably couldn't testify. They'd probably forget about it. But that's rotten. I don't even, that's just wrong on so many levels. I don't even know where to begin with that. My goodness.
I don't know. And I guess a Russian priest is trying to cure a city with sin. And he's been going up in airplanes and helicopters and, spraying the city with holy water.
Oh, boy. I got to tell you, I did see something about that, and I don't know. I don't know how that's going to work, but I see his ideal in it. I mean, I'm going to go to a place on the weekend. I'm going to take my humidifier and put a gallon of holy water in and crank it up. But a whole city, that's hell, you might as well just get one of them big Boeings that they use for forest fires and fill it up with holy water if you're going to do all that.
Did you hear about what happened? This fire in going on in California. The helicopters and the planes come out and, scoop up water in the ocean and lakes and all that stuff and then go dump it on the fire.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? They scooped up a scuba diver.
What?
Yeah, there was a guy evidently out there scuba diving, right? He got scooped up in one of those things and, was dispersed on the fire. And then they found this body complete with, the whole everything, the fins, the mast, the tanks, and, they figured that he got scooped up.
That would be horrible. I know they got them big old jets that Russia uses. They scoop up from lakes and stuff and wherever, but that's awful.
Yeah, in this case, he was out in the Sound or the ocean, and they scooped up water for the fire was going on. And they dispersed the water. And could you imagine, here he has got scooped up, and he's probably still alive. I tell you, that would be the scariest thing in the world. And then, you're taking over a fire and then dumped.
Yeah, that would be, oh, boy, that would be awful. That would just be rotten. My goodness. Knowing that what's going to happen even. The anxiety, geez.
Yeah. Hey, wow. Sam, are you there?
Oh, I am. Yeah.
Yeah, we're talking about a guy who got scooped up. The fire was going on this weekend in California, Northern California. I guess they were scooping water up in lakes and the ocean and then dumping it on the fire. And
they scooped up a person?
A guy was out there. Yeah, well, he's dead.
I shouldn't be laughing about that.
Yeah, but the guy was, out there scuba diving. And, and they evidently scooped him up because they found his body. He had everything on, his tanks, his everything. And there he was laying, what was left of him, where they dumped it on the fire.
Jeez. Well, that's the first. Every time I hear a news report from you, it's the first time I've ever heard of something like that.
Well, it does make sense, though. I mean, they're out there, they can't see what's under the water a little bit. They just come, and they just come make a run and scoop the water and keep on going. So, I mean, yeah. Yeah, well.
I'm still chuckling about the nursing home.
Can you believe that? I mean, they took
wheelchair wars now on video.
Well, the people they took had dementia, so they actually got them in actual physical fights with their opponent, right? And they had people coming and betting a large sums of money on who's going to win. It's like doing the rooster type thing or the dog type of thing. Now, I guess this nursing home figured, hey, why not?
Yeah, I'm not trying to laugh about the situation, but it's, you can see the comedy going on behind something like that. But, people are prone to making money from unfortunate people in situations like that. I'm not really hip about that. You know what I mean?
Well, it makes me wonder when I get an aged and older that, hey, I'm going to tell my kids, hey, get me a cardboard box. I'm not going to go in a nursing home. That isn't going to happen.
Either that, you're going to have to take a boxing and prepare for the worst. I don't know.
I don't know. I could see them hitting each other with the canes and all that stuff. So,
yeah, I could just visualize all that stuff. How you doing, James?
Good. How you been?
I'm doing great tonight. You know.
Well, yeah, you weren't the one out scuba diving out in the ocean, not by.
Well, we're doing better
out by
than that
San
person
Diego.
did, I'm telling you right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but that's a true story, right?
Absolutely true.
Oh my goodness!
May God strike James dead if I'm lying.
Oh, geez, thanks.
So, are they scooping up like? How do they scoop up the water?
Well, on these helicopters and on these planes, they have this big, huge bucket. They just come down close to the water, right? And it just scoops it right up. And then they're not really looking, when they come down. They just come to water and get a big scoop of, thousands of gallons of water and then go dump it on the fire. So,
they're probably scooping up fish, too, and everything else that might be in there,
Probably. Hey, barbecued fish.
Oh, yeah, there
Smoked
you go.
Salmon. Oh.
Someone's going to have a good meal after it's all over and done with.
Yeah. And also in the news in the last couple of days, Japan is freaking out. They totally have run out pretty much now where they can put any more of this contaminated water. And they're admitting they're going to have to now dump it in the Pacific Ocean. And they're still waiting to hear, reviews from other scientists worldwide. But even they're going to have to take they have no choice. They're going to have to dump this radiated water in, knowing that it will mix with the ocean, but it will contaminate large areas as it disperses.
Yeah, I'm not going to be eating fish anytime too soon after this, you know what I mean?
Or crab.
Or anything else coming from the ocean, especially the Pacific.
Yeah, no more cod for me, no more salmon, no more. Oh, yeah, and that is really scary. I mean, it's going to happen, but you have to understand, they can't, they have no more place to put it. I mean, that's it. They're running out of where they can put it.
Well, the only upside is we'll glow at night and won't have to need light bulbs anymore.
Yeah, could you imagine be on an airplane looking down? Oh, the Pacific Ocean is so bright tonight.
Oh, yeah, tell me about it.
Hey, look at that. Look at those whales just glowing so beautifully.
It's one way to track them.
I guess so. I mean, yeah, that's scary. You know that? And we worry about such other little trivial things, and that is a major thing. I mean,
you got to find humor in disaster sometimes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just to keep us from going insane from all the crap going on.
Especially nowadays. And then in Ohio, a man is really upset, calls up the police department and accuses them of stealing all his weed and demands that they return it.
Ooh, especially in a place where it's not completely legal either, right?
Probably, but there was a big bust, and I was reading the news and I didn't catch where, but two guys were released. They had like $4.7 million worth of marijuana. And they were, the judge had to let them go because the police didn't have a warrant to search the property. And so I guess it was thrown out of court. Now, they lost $4.7 million worth of marijuana, but at least I guess they don't have to go in and watch where the soap goes.
Yeah, really.
I can't believe that. No, I can believe that totally.
Well, yeah, that does happen.
I mean, stuff like this happens every day. It says, let me do something completely illegal, and my business is completely illegal, excuse me. And I'm just going to go to the police because I got wronged by something, I mean, where's the common sense in any of that? I mean, you possibly you might be arrested for what you're doing in your business.
I would think so, yeah. I would think, something at that point, you would have to worry about it. Oh, I just lost my
Pretty
headphone.
much.
Hang on.
Oh,
let's see. Wrong one. Okay. Now, let's see if that makes a difference. Yeah, that makes a little bit of difference there. Okay.
Yeah.
So, at least it does for me. I was hearing myself like twice. Well, a Scottish woman can hear her own eyeballs move every time she moves her eyes. And it's driving her crazy.
Well, you know what the doctor on Hee Haw would say? He'd say, quit doing that, and you're healed. That's all. Jeez, I never tell such things.
Well, with a $500,000 grant, scientists implant fake memories into birds to teach them